Welcome back to another Tilted Knot video. I started my woodworking journey about 10 years ago. I had done some woodworking when I was in high school. I really enjoyed it, but really never had an opportunity to do anything with it and always considered it more of a hobby. When I got back from my deployment in the end of 2005 and realized that the injuries I sustained were a little more serious than what I had anticipated or originally thought, some things changed for me. I wasn't able to be as physically active as I wanted to, and we were in the process of trying to figure out exactly what was wrong and what I had done to myself during my deployment. Early on, I had fallen out of the side of an oversized semi-cab. It took about a 4-foot tumble and landed on my head and ended up with a concussion, which led to its own issues.
Sure.
But what we didn't know is somehow during that process, I had actually separated the cartilage between the joints in my right hip. Not entirely sure what happened, but all we could conclude is that when I fell, I caught my foot on the inside lip of the door as I went over. Over the following year, we really couldn't figure out exactly what happened and what the problem was. X-rays didn't show anything really significant other than there was a mass on the side of my hip, but they didn't quite know what the issue was or anything else. During that time, I had also injured both of my shoulders and had a reoccurring issue with bicipital tendonitis in both shoulders. And this in itself created a whole host of issues. But my shoulders weren't exactly the main concern. About a year after I got back, the end of 2005, I went ahead and accepted a medical discharge from the Army. They had diagnosed me as a labrum tear and a possible cyst on the side of my hip. What we didn't know is 2 years later, when they went in orthoscopically to take a look at things, what they thought was the cyst actually turned out to be the cartilage, and I had been walking around bone on bone with no cartilage or anything else between the hip joint on my right leg. Between the end of 2006 and 2012, I went through approximately 2 surgeries every year between my shoulders and hips to try and get things taken care of. Ultimately ended up having both hips replaced, and both shoulders are permanently injured. And I do have a loss of mobility and strength in both arms because of the shoulder issues and the surgeries that I went through. During that time, I also decided to go back to school and eventually worked myself all the way through to a master's in business administration through the end of 2015. After a couple years of looking for work, not really getting anywhere, and being either overqualified or not the right fit for the companies that I applied for, I decided to try and figure out what I was going to do on my own and what business I could run. Part of my discovery process and learning how to work with my limitations, I started doing woodworking as a hobby just so that I could have something to do and something to express my creativity and keep myself busy when I didn't have work or other things that I needed to take care of. Around the middle to end of 2022, I had people asking me to help with making things, and I started to think maybe I could do this as more than just a hobby. And any of you who have physical disabilities or physical limitations know how hard it can be to remain active at times and find a way to keep yourself mentally and physically engaged with different activities. And for me, woodworking started to fulfill this purpose, fill a void, a gap, and give me something to challenge myself with and just see what I could be able to do. So, about 2 years ago, 2.5 years ago, after talking with some other veterans, meeting some other veterans, one of the things that I kept hearing is, I can't do that, or my physical issues prevent me from doing things. And it really started to bother me that there were individuals that just couldn't see past their limitations or what they were trying to overcome. And so I decided that I would start filming my woodworking just to be able to show other people with limitations that you can actually learn to work with them and figure out something that'll work for you. After about a year of this, I decided to go ahead and take a furniture design class at Salt Lake Community College just because I wasn't entirely comfortable or confident in my skills with woodworking. And I wanted to see what I could do to improve on my abilities. That ended up being a little more of a confidence booster than I had anticipated. I found out that my woodworking skills were on par with a couple of my instructors. And I just needed a little bit of help to understand what I was doing a little bit better and how to adjust what I was doing to produce a little bit better quality product. And so that was a great help for me. And I decided to go ahead and move forward with starting Tilted Knot Woodworks and seeing if I can do this as more of a hobby. I should say more than just a hobby. What I didn't realize is just how expensive this little hobby could become. Over the last 10 years, and specifically the last 5 years, I have probably invested about $20,000 into equipment, tools, and increasing my abilities with materials that ended up being burned or thrown away or having to be turned into a different project completely. But woodworking is one of those things where if you don't work on things, push yourself, and keep trying, you're never going to find out exactly what you can and can't do. Yes, my physical issues get in the way at times. There are times that because of weather or other factors, I'm not able to work on anything for a few days or even a couple of weeks. And so for me, having something like this that I can use as a creative outlet and a way to keep myself engaged and physically active has become extremely important. I understand that woodworking is not everybody's cup of tea, and it's not something that everybody's going to enjoy. But I would challenge you to find something that helps to bring a little more passion into your life outside of family, friends, work, something that really can help you push your own creativity and keep yourself mentally and physically engaged. Over the last year, I have finally gotten involved with a couple of different veteran organizations. And it's kind of sad that it took me this long to reconnect with other veterans and get to know some people and reconnect to that community, which is completely different than any other community that I've been involved with in the past. I've been involved with other civil organizations, business organizations, networking groups, but none of them were really fulfilling or provided a purpose beyond their just basic design. So for me, this has turned out to be a really good thing. And I'm really glad that I decided to get involved with an organization and just kind of push myself out of the box I had put myself in and accept that it's okay to not be able to handle everything by yourself and be around other people that have similar experiences. I think one of the best things for me has been being around people that look at what I'm doing and see how I try and push myself, keep myself active, and instead of falling into the mind frame of, oh, you're disabled, I'm sorry, it's more of a, hey, that's cool. What else can you do? And it's helped to push me and get myself out where I hadn't been previously. So this box that you're watching me make is being made for a Reverend Warrior for the Salt Lake chapter. This will be added into one of the raffles for their fundraisers and helps to give me a reason to do something a little bit different, try a different style of box that I've never tried before, and also be able to show other veterans that, yes, you can do different things and give them something they can look at and maybe go, I wonder if I could start doing something like that. Eventually, I may start helping with teaching some other veterans about woodworking and see if it's something that they're interested in. But we'll see how that goes and see if that's something that I can actually work with without having astronomical liability insurance. So I hope you enjoy seeing the different things I make, the different projects that I come up with. And I'm hoping that this will spark some interest in somebody else and give them an idea of maybe trying something different. Maybe woodworking, metalworking, maybe wanting into making jewelry, working with fine metals. Maybe it's even drawing or drafting or creating different designs. But there's something that everybody can do to keep themselves active, keep themselves mentally engaged, and help find a purpose beyond their service or their families. I have no illusions that I'm going to get rich off of YouTube, but I'm hoping that I can reach enough people that it can make a difference for somebody. And if it does, then I have accomplished what I've set out to do. And I'm going to continue doing videos and showing the difference on design and growth and abilities. And maybe along the way, it'll help other people too. But I greatly enjoy you watching my videos. If you would please like and subscribe, it would help me out a lot. And help share this with other people. And hopefully, my work, my message, my efforts will help show other people that they can do things too and just stretch their abilities and their self confidence. You guys have a wonderful day, and I will see you on the next video.